Hello and Namaskar viewers, I am Sanjeev Pandya welcoming you to another episode of the Business Talk with AJ right here on ITV Gold. This is the weekly show, brings you all the latest that you need to know, all the news from the world of business, not only from US but international business related stories as well as other news that you would really be interested in finding out. This show courtesy of Mr. AJ Kumar of Science CPA Services, a full-fledged accounting firm located in state of New Jersey with multiple locations, can help you with all the accounting matters from A to Z, whether it's for personal matters or corporate taxes. They can help you out. Their experienced and knowledgeable CPAs in the staff are ready to help you out. You can give them a call or send them an email and to visit their website. And you can call them at 908-380-6876 to book an appointment, a Zoom call, in-person appointment also available. So Science CPA Services for all your accounting needs. With that note, I'd like to welcome Mr. AJ Kumar of Science CPA Services. Sir, good to have you.
Thank you, Sanjeevji. I appreciate that.
Yes.
As you rightly said, in this show, we analyze the news. The show is all about news that you can use. There's a lot of news in the market.
Yes.
But what's in it for me? How do I use this news? What can I do about this news? That's what the show is all about.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. Let's begin with the major story of today. And this is a major story because the news came out that the Russia-Ukraine war which is going on, and Russia President Vladimir Putin has said there are 4 new regions of Russia. That means he's taking over 4 regions which belong to Ukraine till now. He's taking them over and they're going to be part of Russia. I understand the survey was done and they had asked the citizens of Ukraine that where do they want to be, but I'd like you to take a lead in the story and tell us.
So the survey was a voting process, a referendum was done. So 3 gunmen, Russian soldiers, went to door by door and they asked for who do you want to go with. And the population said, well, leave me alone, Russia. So that kind of referendum was done. Russia is claiming 97% of the people who they asked this question, they said they wanted to go with Russia. That's why there is an annexation process that Russia is going through to have 4 of the Ukraine large regions, which makes up to 20% of the Ukraine, of the total physical land. These 4 regions of Ukraine will be included as part of Russia. So European countries, even America is completely against it, but that's the next process that Russia is going through.
Yeah, and what kind of impact it will have on a business world, that we will see. But the territory being consists of 2 pro-Russian republics in Luhansk and Donetsk, which is in the eastern part of Ukraine, and in Kherson and Zaporizhzhia in the southern part of Ukraine. So these are the 4 regions to start with. So I guess it's really happening, but we'll see there what kind of impact it will have on the world of business. Talk about business and what kind of impact it will have on the credit cards that we use. We're so used to with Visa and MasterCard. Everywhere we go, we use a credit card. But now there is, there is a company which has invested millions of dollars in using their technology to avoid use of Visa and MasterCard.
Absolutely.
If and when this happens, this is going to be a major, major breakthrough.
And this can happen sooner than later. This can happen as soon as early 2024. I mean, almost in a year and a half, this company, Bitcoin company, has collected $80 million from the market to implement the technology that will phase out the necessity of Visa card and MasterCard. In one of our earlier episodes, we mentioned that India is coming up. India is the biggest market, and India is coming up, the government is coming up with their own credit card to avoid using MasterCard and Visa card. I mean, everybody is using MasterCard, Visa card in these days. That's the gold standard. Consider a situation when you have an alternative, when the India government is using their own credit card, and now you can just use the phone without any credit card to pay any bill, like what happens in Europe.
Absolutely. And in Europe, the technology is very much advanced.
Absolutely.
We are years behind. And the company that we are talking here in this story, it's called Strike. Strike is a digital wallet that relies on a fast version of Bitcoin network and believes it can do something no one has done it in a half a century. That's eliminating use of Visa and a MasterCard.
Absolutely.
In an interview, the Strike CEO said that Strike will use the money in part to develop partnerships with major retailers such as Wendy's and Starbucks, and to change the payments experience for merchants and the customers alike.
Absolutely.
So that means all you will have to do is just to carry a phone. You don't need to carry cash, no
Absolutely.
credit cards, nothing.
Go to the Starbucks, show the phone, and you're done.
Alrighty. All right, talk about Starbucks and the other companies. Let's talk about US stock market. Of course, stock market has been on a bumpy ride lately, up and down, and stocks finished mixed, but Dow Jones and S&P 500 hit lowest levels since November 2020. So, in 2 years, we have seen the lowest level of stock market because investors, I think, losing a faith and worried about recession.
Absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of factors in there. Ukraine war is one, gas prices is another factor, and then not knowing where the market is going. I mean, not knowing the new policies that this government has. There's a lot of mixed feelings. So even though there are some shares that are doing okay, better than others, but in general, Dow Jones and S&P, they are both struggling. They are both suffering. And the near forecast, in next 3 to 6 months, we are still expecting the stock market to be down more than up. We are still expecting the similar turbulent situation when it comes to the stock market in next 3 to 6 months.
Let's see what happens. This morning I heard the news, consumer confidence is bit up. So whenever there's a good news about consumer confidence being up, that's a good news for the retailers. And the retailers are hoping for a very, very strong holiday season, even though recession and, all the worry about recession and fear is around the corner, but hopefully time will tell.
Absolutely, you're 100% right. And in the long time, for the first time, month over month, the home prices have gone down slightly. It's not important that they have gone down slightly. What's more important is the home prices are not going up month over month consistently. That has been happening for so many months, more than a year now. So in this case, the July price index for the home price turned out to be slightly less than what we had in June. So that sort of gives you a feeling that the home market, the real estate market is slowing down slightly, which typically happens in the winter season anyway.
Okay. All right. So, home price has been down like in the first time in many, many years.
Yes.
Because of high mortgage interest rate. But coming back to stock market for a second, I just want to add one thing, that because of this recent downturn in the stock market, investors altogether have lost $9 trillion.
Absolutely, you're 100% right. So the total amount of the money that the wealth, the way we count it from the investor's perspective, was about $42 million. Now the estimated wealth is about $33 million. So $9 trillion is a lot of money, and it amounts to almost 25%, 24% of the wealth lost. Consider the situation. You have $100 and suddenly overnight or in short period of time, you lose 24%, 25% of your net wealth. That's an amazing number. That's a very, very high number. But that's what happens in the stock market.
Yep. And this will cause our GDP number to go down next year, at least 0.2% or something like that. And of course, Fed Chairman Powell, as you said, that is going to have another rate increase before the end of the year.
That's what we are expecting. So the last rate increase was 75 basis points. Right now, we are sitting on prime rate to be 6.25%. For the first time in 12 years, the mortgage rate, the residential mortgage rates are over 6%. We are expecting in November the rate to be going up again at least 50 basis points, if not more. Per the indications that the Fed chairman has given, the total rate increase can still be at least 1%, if not 1.25%, about 125 basis points. Not all of it will happen in November, but we are expecting 50 basis point to 75 basis point increase. That means your mortgage rate will be increased further. So if you are thinking about closing the home mortgage loan, try to have your rate locked in sooner than later. Don't wait till November.
Yes, absolutely. Now continuing, with the stock market, related to the stock market, the corporate story, right? U.S. regulators are coming down very, very heavily on this giant corporations such as Barclays, Bank of America, Citigroup, Credit Suisse, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and UBS. Now, all together combined, they're fined for $1.8 billion for taking deals.
That's an amazing number, and you have to really see why. How is it happening? So we take pride in this thing. So Gurveer Grewal used to be New Jersey State Attorney General.
Yes.
Last year, he became the chairman of SEC, Security Exchange Commission. So this person, Gurbir Grewal, is very by the book type of person. This person is suing a lot of these investment banks because the employees of these banks were discussing the trade, the transactions on their personal phone, on the WhatsApp, on the text messaging. They were discussing what's being sold, what's being purchased, which is against the rule. All these employees are supposed to have, and they do have, the company giving phone, the laptop, the system, which is more secure than their personal phone. So they were supposed to use for all transactional discussion the company given phone, but a lot of these employees were found to be discussing the transactional details on their personal phone. And Gurbir Grewal, the SEC chief, is suing a lot of these investment banks to collect $1.8 billion.
That's an astonishing number. And I just want to add, last week we talked about Gurbir Grewal when you were talking about, I believe, JP Morgan's story where they had found the data in one of the old computers and he found them on a big time. So this is a really interesting $1.8 billion in the fines to all these major investment firms and the banks. All right, you're watching the Business Talk with AJ show right here on your favorite TV channel. That's ITV Gold. It's time for us to take a short break. When we come back, we got more interesting business related and the other stories for you. Stay right there. Welcome back to the second half of the Business Talk with AJ show. Once again, this is the weekly show to get you all the business related and the other interesting stories in the show, courtesy of Mr. AJ Kumar of Science CPS Services. We're in the month of October, and I know it's not exactly time to think about taxes, but time flies, as they say. So between now and October and December, you really need to look into your personal taxes and the corporate taxes and figure out that what had been done before, can it be changed? Can you save more on taxes? And most importantly, can you file right taxes? That is the key thing, accurate taxes with the accurate information. And that's where Science CPS Services, a complete accounting firm, very popular firm, been advising clients for over 25 years. They can certainly help you out, assist you to file taxes rightly, and also, if possible, to save you money. So for personal or corporate taxes, reach out to them, 908-380-6876. Their experienced, knowledgeable CPAs and other accountants are standing by to help you out with a Zoom call and in-person meeting or over the phone. They can certainly help you out. And Mr. AJ Kumar is with Science CPS Services. AJ, as we continue the second half of the show, if your business is making less than $100,000 a year, I should say maybe 50,000, less than 50,000 a year, huh? How can you value your business $100 million? Where is that genius comes from?
That's an interesting story, right? So the owner of a deli is a franchisee. They had listed their deli on stock exchange, and at one point of time, the value of the complete deli, there are a lot of assets involved. It was less than $10 million, $7 million actually. So what they did, and the stock price was worth $1. They created a lot of demand for their stocks by having their own employees, own family buying and selling the stocks. So artificially, they were buying large orders of their own stocks to convey in the market that there's a lot of demand for this stock. There must be a good reason for having this much demand. Everybody wants to buy the daily stocks. So they inflated their stocks from $1 to $14 and hence creating a value of $100 million from $7 million for their daily stocks.
This is amazing. Anyway, the owners of that deli, of course, they are taken into custody. Absolutely. And this is the delicatessen known as a Hometown Deli, was located in Paulsboro, New Jersey. It's a very interesting story, and if you get a chance to find out details, you should do that. Now let's continue with our weekly story that we bring you an update. Currency rate.
Absolutely. The currency rates are going off the roof. For the first time, 81.5. I have seen 81.7. But the currency rates are on the high. I mean, they are going to continue high as the dollar is getting stronger and stronger. And part of the reason is the European market. The way the European market, the European pound is acting up, the European pound is going down like there is no tomorrow. That's making the dollar strong. And stronger dollar means you can buy more rupees for $1. So we expect the dollar to remain strong and get stronger. That means you will have the exchange rate to be increasing from 81.5 to even further.
That is, let's see what happens. I mean, there is no stoppage when it comes to increasing
Absolutely.
this, Indian rupees versus dollar. Now let's talk about, this interesting story. Tourists visiting India, 1.52 million.
Absolutely, and you have to look at this story about the foreign tourists in two different perspectives. Even though it sounds strange, why the number of tourists are going down so much. I mean, India saw less than 1.5 million tourists in 2021. In 2022, it was 2.7. So almost 45% down. In 2019 and prior, it was always more than 10 million. So the story looks strange, and a lot of people, depending on which political party you belong to, are using this story for the political reason. But you have to put everything in perspective. Look at the COVID situation. So suddenly after COVID, India's foreign tourists reduced by 75%. So if you compare 2019 versus 2020, and that's true with a lot of other countries, not just with India. So India is working on it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is becoming the brand ambassador. A lot of Bollywood actors are being hired as brand ambassador to have more and more foreign tourists coming to India.
Let's see what happens. But with the currency rate so high, I don't know. Maybe come this Diwali and
Actually, currency rate being high or dollar being stronger actually helps Indian travel. Now you can buy for $1, what you could buy is worth 80 rupees. Now you can buy for something that's worth 85 rupees or 81 rupees in that
Absolutely.
manner.
It helps.
So lower currency rate actually helps the Indian tourism.
That's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. Maybe during this Diwali season or the New Year holidays, there will be more tourists visiting India. So let's see what happens. All right, Reliance. Whenever
Absolutely.
they do something, it always makes the news, and they always do something interesting. So Reliance Retail, they announced it. They are launching their first outlet of its fashion and lifestyle department store in Vasant Kunj, New Delhi.
Absolutely. So Reliance was not in the market where they were selling the ready-made clothes, the fashion market. Now they see a lot of demand. I mean, what we used to see in our time or our parents' time, our grandparents' time, everybody had to go to the tailor to get the stitching done. Now the market is changing, and so is the business model. So Reliance was in the market to sell clothing,
Yes.
to sell the clothes,
Yes.
the real clothes, not the ready-made shirt, pants, and the clothing, complete clothing. So depending on the need, depending on the demand, Reliance is getting into this fashion clothing market. That's a big news. So a lot of times, whenever Reliance gets into something, that becomes the market standard.
And this location is not a small location.
Absolutely.
It's a 75,000 square feet location.
That's another Walmart selling clothing only from Reliance.
It's a
That's going to be a huge
Reliance.
thing.
It's a Reliance Centro outlet. That's what they call
Absolutely,
that. And this
absolutely.
is going to be amazing. And right now they have opened one in Vasant Kunj, Delhi, and they're in Delhi. So maybe all these Delhites perhaps knows more about fashion and style, and
Well, I
perhaps
think
their
that's just the
spending
starting point.
their
They will be
spending
having-
power is much more.
Well, I'm sure they will have more outlets depending on the success of the first outlet. They will have more outlets in Mumbai and other areas as well.
That's right. So, this new shopping destination has a special inaugural offer for its customers. Besides great, relevant fashion at amazing prices, listen to this. The inaugural offer is to get 1,500 rupees off, 1,500 rupees off on shopping worth $3,999. Can you believe that?
Absolutely.
All right. So they're getting into this business, and all these Reliance and Adani Group and other corporations, they are really working hard, making India's overall economy stronger and better. According to the billionaire who already topped in the list of the top three richest men in the world, billionaire Gautam Adani, he has said that India to be third largest economy by 2030.
That's amazing news. India has been on number 6, if not lower. So by 2030, at least Mr. Adani is expecting India to be number 3rd. And a lot of people are betting on it. After US and China, India will be the 3rd largest economy, leaving Japan, Germany, and UK behind. India is on 6th number. So that's going to be a big news for India.
Yeah, and it could happen by 2030. And in less than 10 years, this will be happening. And it's a real growth is just starting.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, 1.3 billion people in
That
India.
means a lot of people, a lot of
that's
hard work,
exactly.
educated.
and a nation with the maximum percentage of young individuals
That's how
in
it
the
is.
world.
Absolutely.
That makes a difference.
That does. Europe has a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, not as many as India, but mostly European folks are on the older side,
Retirement, yeah,
on the retirement side
exactly.
than the Indian folks.
Yep. So this is really interesting. Third largest economy, after U.S., China, that will come in. So let's see what happens. Of course, our news always include Bollywood also, and we're
Absolutely.
talking about Alia Bhatt. Alia Bhatt right now is making a news because she's going to be honored in Singapore at Time 100 Impact Awards.
Absolutely. So she's just not a great actress, she's a great person as well. And she's making an impact in general, not only in India, but in the world. So being a good actor is a great thing, but being a good human being is even more important than just becoming a good actor. And Alia Bhatt is one of them who is creating an impact in the whole world. So kudos to Alia Bhatt.
You sound like you really like her.
Absolutely.
Your
Well, it's not-
favorite.
I like the personality. I mean,
Yes, she's a
I'm
great
nobody
actor.
to judge
No.
the acting skills for an
Yes.
actor or
No, no,
actress.
no.
But when I see in the news that there are a lot of other actors as well.
I am a fan of hers too. She
Well,
is amazing actor.
absolutely.
And this is this is what it is. It's Impact Awards, right? So we talk about impact, and they say this Alia Bhatt is one of the 4 awardees who is being recognized as a visionary who has gone above and beyond to make an impact in her chosen field. You pick any Alia Bhatt's movie, and the character that she played in that movie, she really gets down into that character, into the skin of the character, and gives the best performance. So yes, this is very, very well deserving for Alia Bhatt, and we wish her all the best.
Absolutely.
And of course, for this show, the Business Talk with AJ, it's a very, very great to have AJ Kumar part of the show, because he
Absolutely.
brings in
Thank
a
you.
very valuable suggestions and tips for all you that you need to know. So I'd like to thank him.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so
It's my
very
pleasure.
much. With that note, we come to an end of this week's The Business Talk with AJ right here on ITV Gold. Until we meet again, same place, same time, right here on your favorite TV channel, ITV Gold. I am Sanjeev Pandya, wishing you all happy and lucky days ahead. So long.
Thank you.